Today is supposed to be the day that the Trump administration is legally required to release all of the Epstein files with protections, redactions for victims, and maybe sources or methods as the phrase goes. But not just redactions to protect whatever it is that Trump has been so fed up about people wanting to know. So today's supposed to be the deadline, tonight. But I have a pretty shocking update for you. Before getting to that, I do just want to say it's crazy how long we've talked about this story, but how we still just learn more and more and more. Yes, about the broader implications of how many powerful people had such close relationship with Epstein, and what does that mean for who actually participated in criminality, who knew or kind of vaguely knew but didn't do anything. It's just a very dark topic. But as we look at trying to figure out, not that we're just fixated on only Trump, because anyone who had such a close relationship should be scrutinized, but he's the president who has been trying to block the release, so that's why he gets a lot of extra attention for good reason. And as we examine that, we learn just more every day as different journalistic entities are diving into this, or we're getting more stuff from the estate, House Democrats releasing. So I'm going to give you the big breaking news update as to something Todd Blanche announced that's going to, I don't know if you will or won't be shocked, but it's pretty nauseating. But first, I saw this reporting come out. Marla Maples allegedly warned mother to keep teen daughter away from Trump. Now, if you're thinking, Trump? That's his wife? Ivana? No, not that one. That's not Melania. No, not that one. This is Marla, one of his other wives. No, it's fine. Hey, maybe there are people in the audience that have 3, 4, 5. I have someone in my extended family who had, I think he's on his 8th or maybe 7.5 wife. Let me explain. One, he married twice. He did like sort of a marry, divorce, marry someone else, divorce, come back around and remarry the person from before. Maybe I think 6 or 5. That's crazy. And I'd like to introduce you to my 5th and 7th wife. It's like Trump when he says, I am the 45th and 47th president of the United States. This is my 5th and 7th wife. But anyways, so, and then there's nothing, I love you either way. I think there's something wrong with 7. I don't know. It's like, do you say till death do us part at every wedding? At all 8? Marla Maples once warned the mother of a teen girl to keep her daughter away from Maples' then husband, Trump. Reportedly, allegedly. At the time, Trump sometimes bussed in models for parties at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida, which the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein also frequently attended. This is something, everyone's going, Democrats are making such a big deal of this. Like, we know what we're going to know. There's not going to be anything else. They don't have a quote-unquote smoking gun. Let me ask you a question. If this reporting is true, New York Times dug this up, do you not feel like it's in and of itself disqualifying to be president that you were bringing in 14-year-old models for parties? I'm sick and tired of us not being completely disgusted, or as disgusted as we should be, that Trump was even dealing with, managing, owning teen beauty pageants. I don't think underage beauty pageants should be a thing. One 14-year-old model who was signed with Ford Models was told to dress sexy, 14, for a party in late 1994, according to a report in the New York Times detailing Trump's relationship with Epstein. The girl's mother, Sandra Coleman, said her daughter, Tina Davis, was one of 8 or 9 models scouted for the party who were really young. Some of them could have been in training bras, Coleman told the Times. When they arrived at Mar-a-Lago, the girls were repeatedly offered champagne and approached by middle-aged men. I mean, this is it. They're at Mar-a-Lago. That's all I need to hear. They're like, well, is there a video of him? This is disgusting. Even if he didn't commit a crime, this actually, was this at his, yeah, he was there. That is a crime. giving drinks to 14-year-olds as middle-aged men hit on them. Each time her daughter was approached, Coleman walked over and introduced herself as Tina's mother. At one point, they went to the bathroom and ran into Maples, a former model and beauty pageant contestant who was married to Trump at the time. The two women also had met earlier. Whatever you do, do not let her around any of these men, especially my husband. Protect her, said Trump's then wife. Disturbing. So then we get to the breaking news, which is Todd Blanche saying, well, I'll let you watch. But he's getting asked, so are all the files coming out today? Let's see his answer. While we do, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. It is completely and totally free, but actually makes a big difference to boost if you think this message or this show is valuable, boost to more people. So hopefully we can build the audience and do good things with it. Click the subscribe button.
Today marks the deadline for the DOJ to make the Epstein files public after the president signed a law requiring those to be released. So in these files, are we going to learn any new information about Epstein and people that may have been associated with him?
So yes, so today is the 30 days and I expect that we're going to release several 100,000 documents today, and those documents will come in all different forms, photographs and other materials associated with all of the investigations into Mr. Epstein. And just so everybody appreciates, President Trump has said for years that he wants full transparency and he wants the Department of Justice to release everything that we can with respect to this investigation and cases. And we saw during the Biden...
He's calling it a hoax. You can't say he wants full transparency when he fought it. They had to force him to. Oh, and why? We found out the investigations into anyone else connected were still ongoing throughout the Biden administration. So no wonder you can't release while they're still going. Do you know why now it would make sense to release? Because under the Trump administration, they were all shut down. They were all completed. They're over. The investigations are done. That's why.
Administration radio silence from the very Democrats that are screaming from congressional steps today that we haven't done enough. But guess what? President Trump signed that law 30 days ago, and we have been working tirelessly since that day to make sure that we get every single document that we have within the Department of Justice, review it, and get it to the American public. Now, the most important thing that the Attorney General has talked about, that Director Patel has talked about, is that we protect victims. And so what we're doing is we are looking at every single piece of paper that we are going to produce, making sure that every victim, their name, their identity, their story, to the extent it needs to be protected, is completely protected. And so I expect that we're going to release more documents over the next couple of weeks. So today, several 100,000, and then over the next couple weeks, I expect several 100,000 more. There's a lot of eyes looking at these, and we want to make sure that when we do produce the materials we're producing, that we're protecting every single victim. A judge in New York has...
So, first of all, then they're breaking the law. Because the law that was passed said today's the deadline. And also, I'm getting a little tired of them going, we're still trying to redact victims' names. No, you're not. No, you're not. We saw the reporting about all these FBI staff members going and finding, presumably to redact, Trump's name. And if you're saying thousands and thousands and thousands of employees in the Department of Justice are so unable to work effectively that they've had 9 months to redact and they're still not done just with victims' names, then you're being crazy, because that's crazy. That no one's buying that. Nobody. That you're still redacting names. And now, whoops, so the big news there is, as you can see from this headline, Deputy AG Todd Blanche, the person who had that weird meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell and then she was suspiciously against protocol, moved to a bougie prison, admits Trump administration will miss deadline to release Epstein files. Shocker. Shocker. Everyone saw it coming. We're just still trying to find the victims' names. We know you have a database. you better have it logged who all the victims are. Like, that has to be somewhere. And then you just control find. Just control find. I could do it in a day. But it's hundreds of thousands control find. It's so much control find. Control find. Highlight, blackout, control P. Right? I know a lot of shortcuts. Control H, does that highlight? Or command? It's not, you're not still redacting. Of course you should redact victim names, to be clear, but it should not take this long. And here's Ro Khanna saying, here's what I'm going to do if y'all break the law.
Tomorrow at midnight is the deadline for Pam Bondi to release the Epstein files. That is what Thomas Massey and my bill calls for. It passed this body 427-1, passed the Senate 100-0, and the president signed it. Now, 3 federal judges have ordered the release of all of these files in Maxwell and Epstein's grand jury. Here is the reality. Any Justice Department official who does not comply with this law will be subject to prosecution for obstruction of justice. If Pam Bondi does not comply with the law, she will be held either in inherent contempt of Congress or subject to impeachment. We will not rest until the law is complied with and justice is served. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. I'll keep you updated. I've been getting texts, family, friends, comments saying, are we really going to get everything? I try not to just, keep you listening, best for clickbait. I try not to do that. And so I've been pretty upfront with you all. I wouldn't hold your breath. I wouldn't. That's not the best thing to say for intrigue, but I'm sure we'll learn more, but there's no way that Trump would have agreed to this if it didn't mean that whatever is the reason he's been freaking out won't be further covered up, because they have certain leeway for what they redact and what they release. And now they're still combing through documents and combing through documents. I pronounced that weird. And I think they're going to end up protecting whatever it is that they've been trying to protect at this point.